Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy.
How can you truly enjoy the meal unless you know the flavor? Welcome back, ABL fans. This is Big Earl, your trusted voice in Action Baseball League analysis, coming at you with our fourth installment of Deep Dive 25. Strap in, because we're about to slice, dice, and dissect all the nuances of this great league. A sincere thank you to the Tampa Bay Times veteran beat writer for an energetic, enthusiastic, and remarkably comprehensive narrative that delves deep into the team's inner machinery. We can feel you're a real fan of the game and the league. Okay, ABL fanatics, let's do this. Whether it's the Eastern powerhouses, the Central workhorses, or the Western wildcards, we're covering it all. Hardball enthusiasts, don your sunglasses and clutch those scorecards tight. We're about to take an expansive journey through the landscape of the Tampa Bay Storm, the NBC Eastern Division's swirling mix of promise and pitfalls. If you're one of those folks who can't get enough of the nitty-gritty, the ins and outs, the ups and downs of ABL baseball, then this deep dive is for you. It's like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You never know what treasure you're gonna find. Pour yourself a glass of ice-cold Florida citrus punch, feel the Gulf Coast winds against your face, and let's dive into the intricate tapestry of a team as mercurial as a Tampa Bay summer storm.
Question 1. How does the owner's personality and negotiation style influence the team's culture and performance?
The Tampa Bay Storm, a team shaped by its owner's fiery personality.
Oh boy! Hold on to your hats, ABL fans, because the Tampa Bay Storm are a whirlwind of personality, strategy, and drama, and it all starts at the top with owner Jalen Reed. This guy's as normal as a jalapeno in a fruit salad, seemingly mild but packing some serious heat. He's controlling and temperamental in negotiations and runs the team with a blend of being demanding, generous, and hands-off. It's like asking for a cheeseburger, but with caviar and no bun. His season objective? A winning record, plain and simple. This high-octane approach trickles down to GM Angel Gonzalez and hitting coach Eric Milstead, who are cut from the same fiery cloth. As for the style of play, expect ground ball tactics, a nod to pitching coach Ryan Thedford. So here's the scoop, folks. The Tampa Bay Storm is a team that'll play hardball in every sense of the word, fueled by an owner whose personality is as complex as a late-inning double switch. They're not just in it to win, they're in it to win with flair. Are we looking at a tempest or just a passing shower?
Question 2. What roles do the front office and coaches play in the team's success or struggles? Are they aligned with the owner's vision?
The Storm's brain trust, a symphony of aligning visions.
Oh, you better believe it. When it comes to the Tampa Bay Storm, the front office and coaching staff aren't just passengers on Jalen Reed's roller coaster. They're the engineers, making sure this thrill ride doesn't go off the tracks. Angel Gonzalez, the temperamental GM with a good reputation and a dozen years under his belt, is Reed's right-hand man, capable of making the big moves that can define the season. And let's talk Eric Milstead, the hitting coach who's the glue in this dynamic setup, balancing a fair reputation and normal personality like a pro juggler. Don't forget pitching coach Ryan Thedford, who's got a ground ball strategy that could be the linchpin of a rock-solid defense. The bottom line? This crew is in lockstep with Reed's aim for a winning record, and if they keep humming the same tune, we might just see a title run that'll have fans dancing in the aisles. Are we hearing the opening notes of a championship anthem or just a catchy jingle?
Question 3. How does the team's financial health reflect in its performance?
The Storm's financial forecast, high wins, low returns.
Fasten your seatbelt because we're diving into the nitty-gritty of the Tampa Bay Storm's financial playbook. With a payroll kissing $11 million and a total revenue that doesn't even make that mark, this team's financials are like a fastball that's lost its zip. Sure, they've got a die-hard fan base filling 80% of the seats, but with zero playoff revenue, it's like leaving the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth. Owner Jalen Reed aims for balance, but let me tell you, this balance sheet's leaning more toward a foul ball than a home run. They've got some cash for trades, but when you can't cover your payroll with your revenue, you're not just in the batter's box, you're in the hot seat. Are these guys financial sluggers or just striking out?
Question 4. How has fan interest evolved over time, and what does it mean for the team's revenue and player acquisitions?
Riding the fan wave, Storm's high hopes and harsh realities.
Let's get into it. The Tampa Bay Storm's fan interest is like a roller coaster you can't help but ride again, up and down, but always leaving you screaming for more. Peaking at 84 and 81, this team's got the fans, but do they have the financial finesse? A whopping $4.5 million in season ticket sales says yes, but a meager $654,450 in gate revenue screams missed opportunity. Now, high fan interest should be a green light for splashing some of that $3.4 million trade cash on stellar players. But hold your horses. With a payroll already outstripping total revenue, they're dancing on the edge of a fiscal cliff. In short, the Storm's got the love of the crowd but needs to turn that into playoff runs and more catching in the coffers. Otherwise, it's just a lot of sound and fury, signifying nothing. So, should they swing for the fences or play it safe?
Question 5. What is the current mood among the fan base, and how could it impact the team in the short term?
The pulse of the Storm, fan fervor fuels the fire but demands results.
The Tampa Bay Storm's got a fan base that's buzzing like a stadium under Friday night lights. Attendance is soaring at 80% capacity and fan interest is sky high at 84, ticking up even more in the last 30 days. Now, that's a level of excitement that can juice up player morale and make the ballpark a magnet for top talent. But here's the kicker, all this fan love comes with strings attached, namely, expectations that are as high as a pop fly in extra innings. The team has a golden chance to cash in, from spiking merch sales to snagging top free agents. But, and it's a big but, the playoff drop is the skeleton in the closet. Fans are thrilled today, but miss those playoffs, and the mood could turn quicker than a double play. So, the Storm's got the wind at their backs, but they better set sail for victory before those gusts turn into gales of disappointment. Are these fans on a championship cruise or headed for a shipwreck?
Question 6. How is the team faring in the league standings, and what factors are contributing to their performance?
Storm warning, a rocky start with puzzling inconsistencies.
Hold on to your scorecards. The Tampa Bay Storm are in a pickle, and it's not the garlic dill kind that pairs well with a ballpark dog. Sitting at 7-12, 6 games back, with a win percentage that could make even a diehard fan wince, 0.368. And let's talk about that run differential, -16. That's like showing up to a home run derby with a toothpick instead of a bat. Now, the real head scratcher, they're practically allergic to their own ballpark with a 2-11 home record, yet they strut like kings of the road at 5-1. Recent form? A middling 5-5 in the last 10, with a 2-game skid to add insult to injury. Their strength of schedule at 0.535 suggests they've had to earn their keep, but come on. If the Storm don't start patching these holes, they're sailing straight into the Bermuda Triangle of the league standings. Is this a ship that can be righted, or are we staring down the barrel of Davy Jones' locker?
Question 7. What are the team's odds of making the playoffs on a divisional and conference level?
Betting against the Storm, long odds in a tough race.
Let's talk numbers, but not the kind you like to see on the scoreboard. The Tampa Bay Storm have odds that'd make even a riverboat gambler think twice. A measly 13.4% chance of making the playoffs, both divisionally and conference-wide. And hold your horses, they're projected to finish the season at 78-84. That's like running a marathon and tripping right before the finish line. With a 9.2% chance of winning the division, they're practically the caboose of this train, and a 0.3% shot at finishing first in the division? Those are snowballs chance in Hades numbers. But don't get too down, they only have a 4% chance of finishing last, so there's some pride at stake. In the grand old game of baseball, anything can happen, but for the Storm, it's gonna take more than a rally cap to beat these odds. Are we looking at a Cinderella story or just a pumpkin waiting for midnight?
Question 8. How do base runs and ELO ratings paint a picture of the team's true strengths and weaknesses?
The Storm's sabermetric saga, a tale of missed chances and slipping grasp.
Alright, let's put on our thinking caps and get down to the nitty-gritty. Base runs and ELO ratings are painting a tantalizing but troubling picture for the Tampa Bay Storm. On the base runs front, they're like a slugger who's got the muscle but can't quite connect, 9 runs short of their expected tally and an XW percent that's begging for a rebound. But hold the phone. Their ELO rating's been slipping faster than a pitcher's curve, down from 1,495.9 to 1,482.4 this season. The 30-day and 7-day changes are in the red too, and folks, in baseball, you want to be in the black. So what's the real Storm? A team with untapped offensive potential or a squad losing its footing? It's like they're standing on a seesaw, and I'm not sure which way they'll tip. Are these just numbers on a page or a crystal ball showing us the Storm's fate?
Question 9. What does the team's WAR indicate about its most valuable players?
The Warfront, a storm of potential and pitfalls.
Grab your calculators and rally caps, because we're diving deep into the war zone. The Tampa Bay Storm are a mixed bag of tricks, let me tell you. With a batter WAR of 3.34, the hitters are doing their part, swinging for the fences and then some. But oh boy, the pitchers are another story, a WAR of 1.73? That's like bringing a spoon to a knife fight. The total WAR lands at 5.07, signaling some genuine talent in the dugout. But here's the kicker, the wins WAR stat shows 1.93, meaning this roster is making a difference, but just by a hair. It's like leading a horse race, but stumbling before the finish line. This team's got the goods, but unless they tighten up that pitching, they're riding a roller coaster with no brakes. Are the Storm a championship puzzle missing one piece, or just a jigsaw that'll never quite fit?
Question 10. How have injuries impacted the team's performance and depth?
The healthy paradox, an underperforming Storm.
Listen up, because I've got a medical report that's as clean as a freshly chalked batter's box. The Tampa Bay Storm have been as lucky as a pitcher with a no-hitter through 8, just one injury on the books and a single day on the disabled list. Financially, it's peanuts, just $4,500 spent on DL time. Now, this should be a recipe for a barnstorming season, right? But oh no, it's more like a rain delay on a sunny day. They've got a full roster and the flexibility that comes with it, yet they're still struggling to find their groove. It's as if they've got a golden ticket but can't find the chocolate factory. Injuries can't be the scapegoat this time, folks. Is it a blessing or a curse to have a healthy team that just can't seem to get it right?
Question 11. What do the team's batting statistics reveal about its offensive capabilities?
A Storm that can't find its thunder.
Hey, ABL fans. Let's get down to brass tacks. The Tampa Bay Storm can swing the lumber all right. With a batting average of .292 and an OBP of .374, these guys know how to get on base. They're patient, drawing 81 walks, which makes them a pitcher's headache. But hold your horses. Despite the shiny numbers, they've only scored 89 runs. That's like owning a muscle car, but never taking it past second gear. And let's talk power, or the lack thereof. Just 13 home runs? Come on! It's like a rock band without a lead guitarist. Plenty of rhythm, but missing that killer solo. The 102 strikeouts are another concern. They're putting the brakes on too many rallies. The stats might be good on paper, but they need some fireworks if they're gonna light up the ABL scoreboard. Are these guys primed for a breakout, or are they just a tease?
Question 12. How does the pitching staff stack up against divisional and conference competition?
A leaky faucet in the mound.
Folks, grab your umbrellas because the Tampa Bay Storm's pitching staff is a drizzle that can't decide if it wants to be a downpour or clear up. They've got a sky-high ERA of 5.02 and a FIP of 4.42, which screams trouble at the mound. Sure, they're inducing ground balls at a 51.4% rate and keeping the long balls in check with an 8.5% HR/FB rate, but let me tell you, it ain't enough. Opponents are feasting with a .294 batting average and a .361 OBP. And let's not sidestep the issue here. A strikeout rate of 13.7% against a walk rate of 8.06% is like a magician who can't decide between pulling a rabbit out of the hat or just fumbling the cards. They need to strike him out or sit him down, otherwise, it's going to be a long season. Is the glass half full for the Storm's pitching staff, or are they just treading water?
Question 13. Are the team's fielding statistics a strength or a weakness?
A field of dreams or nightmares?
All right, buckle up, ABL fans. The Tampa Bay Storm's fielding is like a rickety roller coaster. You've got some highs, but oh boy, do you have lows. On the bright side, they're throwing out runners at a solid 43.75% rate and turning 18 double plays like they're flipping burgers at a cookout. But hold the applause. Their total zone rating is a dismal -1.24, and their defensive efficiency is lagging at 0.676. It's like having a great singer who can't remember the lyrics. You appreciate the effort but cringe at the execution. Add 10 errors to the mix, and you've got a defensive conundrum that could make or break their season. Is this a hiccup in the road or a sign of a long, bumpy ride ahead for the Storm's fielding?
Question 14. What do base running stats say about the team's tactical approach?
Playing it safe or missing out. Storm's base running dilemma.
Hey there, ABL aficionados. The Tampa Bay Storm is playing a calculated game on the base paths. With 7 stolen bases and only 2 caught stealing, they're clocking at a nifty 77.8% success rate. That's like a gambler who knows when to hold M and when to fold M. Despite racking up 147 singles and 81 walks, they're not exactly burning rubber, having attempted just 9 steals. It's like having a sports car, but never taking it above 60. The weighted stolen bases sit at a decent 1.26, showing that while they're not revolutionizing the game with their legs, they're not hurting themselves either. So, are they playing it too safe, or is this just smart baseball?
Question 15. Who are the standout performers in batting, and what do their stats reveal?
The Storm's Fab Four, a spotlight on batting brilliance.
Buckle up, ABL fans, because the Tampa Bay Storm's lineup has some real fireworks. Leading the charge is Nate Smeltz, a second baseman who's more like a one-man army with an OPS over 1 and a WAR of 1.05. He's not just hitting, he's demolishing pitchers' egos. Then there's center fielder Walter Kimpton, a hit factory with an average north of .360 and a WAR just shy of 1. He's the guy you want at the plate when the game's on the line. Frank Jimenez and Ed Montoya round out this fantastic four, bringing a mix of power and on-base prowess. Jimenez's ISO shows he can hit for power, and Montoya, another second baseman, is an on-base magician with a .400 OBP. This squad has it all: power, contact, and discipline. Are they enough to power the Storm to glory? That's the million-dollar question.
Question 16. Who are the key figures in the pitching staff, and how do they influence games?
Storm's mound marvels or misses. A deep dive into the pitching staff.
Hey ABL fans, let's talk turkey about the Tampa Bay Storm's hurlers. We've got a motley crew here, folks. Veteran Miguel Mora is showing age might be more than a number, but that FIP is a rain cloud hovering over his sunny ERA. Then there's Nick Olison, whose ERA and FIP are like a seesaw. When one's up, the other's down. The kid, Julio Gonzalez, has potential with a FIP that's promising despite his high ERA. Don't forget Sergio Martinez, he's the best of the lot if you look at WAR. But let's be honest, none of these guys are aces up the sleeve. They're more like jokers in the deck. Sure, there's talent, but it's unpolished, kinda like a diamond that hasn't seen a jeweler's shop yet. Should the Storm ride out the turbulence, or is it time to find some new pilots for this flight?
Question 17. Who excels in base running and fielding, and how do they impact the game's outcome?
Storm's silent game changers, the maestros of base running and fielding.
Hey there, ABL aficionados. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Storm's dynamic duo and silent game changer, shall we? First up, Walter Kimpton, the master of the base paths with 4 stolen bases and an 80% success rate. He's the guy turning walks into doubles, folks. Then there's the ageless wonder, Corey Lynn, a third base wizard with a perfect fielding percentage and a zone rating that says not on my watch. Don't forget Ed Montoya, Mr. Reliable in the infield with a zone rating to prove it, and oh boy, he can even swipe a bag or two. These guys may not be making nightly highlight reels, but they're the unsung heroes who can flip the script of a game faster than you can say double play. Are these the guys to give the Storm that extra push they need?
Question 18. What does the team's age demographic reveal about its experience and future potential?
Storm's generational mix, balancing the old guard with the new blood.
Hey, ABL fans. The Tampa Bay Storm's roster is a fascinating cocktail of grizzled vets and eager rookies, let me tell you. At the ABL level, we're looking at an average age of 30.55, a number that screams been there, done that. Especially those batters, clocking in at an average age of 31.47, they've got the experience but might be eyeing the sunset of their prime years. But hold your horses. The AAA level average is at 27.9, with batters even younger, signaling that the cavalry's coming. And let's not forget the kiddos in the AA and A levels, the franchise's future stars, all chomping at the bit. So, the Storm's got a roster like a family reunion. Everyone from grandpa to the toddlers is represented. Do they stick with their seasoned ensemble or start handing out the sheet music to the younger generation?
Question 19. Who has had the best batting and pitching games, and what do these performances signify for the team?
Lightning strikes. Individual brilliance sparks hope for Storm's season.
Hey there, ABL enthusiasts. Let's talk showstoppers and crowd pleasers in the Tampa Bay Storm season. Frank Jimenez had a day to remember against Miami, 4 hits, 5 RBIs, a homer, and 3 runs scored. This guy wasn't just hot, he was volcanic. And let's give a tip of the cap to Corey Lynn, who racked up 4 hits and 3 RBIs against San Diego. But it ain't just the batters stealing the show. Nick Olison tossed a complete game, allowing just 1 run against Charlotte, and Sergio Martinez was nearly as impressive against Phoenix. Folks, performances like these are more than just stats on a sheet. They're proof that the Storm has both bats and arms that can dominate a game. Are these epic performances the rule or the exception for the Storm this season?
Question 20. What does your gut tell you about this team in the 1981 championship season and the Grand Tournament of Champions?
Gut check. Storm's championship hopes hang in the balance.
Oh, folks, get ready to buckle up, because the Tampa Bay Storm's 1981 championship season and Grand Tournament of Champions run could be a roller coaster of epic proportions. My gut's telling me this team is a scrappy contender, a diamond in the rough, if you will. They've got some heavy hitters like Nate Smeltz, but let's not kid ourselves. The pitching staff is a veritable box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. The clock's ticking for this aging lineup, and the pressure cooker is on. Come postseason, sure, they've got the grit to grind out a 7-game series, but they'll need Lady Luck smiling down on them and every cylinder firing. They could very well be the Cinderella story of the ABL, or they could be the team that had it all and let it slip away.
Question 21. What is the team's history in the Grand Tournament of Champions?
A stormy history, Tampa Bay's uneasy dance with G2C glory.
Folks, let me paint you a picture of yesteryears. The Tampa Bay Storm's 1976 run in the Grand Tournament of Champions is the stuff of bittersweet nostalgia. They showed up, oh they did, battling tooth and nail in the First Division Championship Series, but alas, the dream ended there. No further glory, no Conference Championship Series, and certainly no Grand Series. It's like they were invited to the big dance, but never got to waltz. They were in the mix, but couldn't seal the deal, a tale of what could have been. This historical snapshot feels like a microcosm of the team's current always the bridesmaid, never the bride vibes. Are the Storm destined to replay history, or is this the year they finally break the cycle?
Question 22. What is the team's history in previous seasons?
Tampa Bay Storm, a roller coaster of missed chances and untapped potential.
Lower the safety bar, baseball aficionados, because the Tampa Bay Storm's history is a roller coaster of almost theirs and not quites. Let's talk about a team consistently dangling around the 500 mark, always the bridesmaid in division standings, and just a single playoff appearance to their name in '76. They've got the heart, but the championship ring keeps eluding them. Their financials are on the up and up, but here we are in '81, and they're stumbling out of the gate with a 7-12 record and an ERA that'd make a pitching coach wince. But don't count them out. With a healthy financial balance, they've got the pocket change to make some big moves. Is history doomed to repeat itself, or will the Storm finally catch that elusive lightning in a bottle?
Question 23. What's your take on last season?
Tampa Bay Storm's 1980 season, the high-cost carousel of mediocrity.
Folks, let me paint you a picture of the Tampa Bay Storm's 1980 season, a wild ride on the merry-go-round of almosts and not quites. We're talking about a squad that tickled the 500 line with an 80-82 record, swinging bats that were more whimper than bang with a .243 average. The pitching? Don't get me started. No ace to be found, and an ERA of 4.14 that had fans biting their nails. But hey, the seats were filled. Nearly 2 million fans flocked to the games, maybe hoping this would be the year. The Storm's payroll ballooned to over $9 million, yet the W's didn't stack up. They ended the year financially stable, but stuck in the eternal loop of good, but not good enough. Was 1980 a cautionary tale, or just a hiccup on the road to glory?
Question 24. How does what happened in the 1980 season reflect on the 1981 early campaign?
The 1981 Storm, a hangover season in the making?
Buckle up, baseball fans, because the Tampa Bay Storm's 1981 season so far is looking like the morning after a wild 1980 party. Their record is languishing at 7-12, and they're trailing by 6 games in their division. The pitchers have been serving up meatballs with a sky-high ERA of 5.02. But hold on, the batters are swinging hot lumber, posting a sizzling .292 average. Did they find a genie in a bottle? Yet, the seats are looking a bit emptier, with attendance nosediving compared to last year's record numbers. The financial belt tightening is clear, with a slashed payroll but a healthy balance, making you wonder if the Storm's management is betting or hedging. Folks, it's early, but 1981 is shaping up to be a continuation of last year's roller coaster ride. High highs, low lows, and a whole lot of uncertainty. Are we strapping in for another whirlwind season, or are we calling for change at the helm?
Question 25. What is your take on the current roster?
The 1981 Storm, haunted by yesteryears or poised for a comeback?
Hey there, baseball aficionados. Feast your eyes on the Tampa Bay Storm's 1981 roster, a mixed bag of old woes and new hopes. The pitching staff? Still a riddle wrapped in an enigma, with ERAs that'll make you cringe. Yep, a spitting image of last year's meltdown. But don't despair. The batters are showing some promise. Nate Smeltz is shining like a diamond in the rough, and outfielders Walter Kimpton and Frank Jimenez are swinging like they're in a home run derby. The lineups, while not perfect, have fewer holes than last year's Swiss cheese formation. A special shout out to Tyler Lett, who's making the most of his limited playtime behind the plate. But, folks, don't pop the champagne yet. There's still enough dead weight to sink a ship, especially in the bullpen and a few spots in the lineup. In a nutshell, the 1981 Storm are a team standing at a crossroads, torn between the ghosts of their not-so-glorious past and the tantalizing glimmers of a brighter future. They'll either soar or continue to drift in the winds of mediocrity. Well, there you have it, your up-close and personal deep dive into the Tampa Bay Storm. We've dissected their strengths, weaknesses, and everything in between. We've peeked into the owner's suite, dug into the dugout, and even scoped out the fans in the bleachers. And let me tell you, what a ride it's been. Like a well-pitched game, we've covered all the bases, but remember, baseball is a game of unpredictability. Just when you think you've got it figured out, it throws you a curveball. The Tampa Bay Storm, a team caught in the quagmire of baseball's middle ground, consistently hovering around that .500 mark without a single division title to their name. Are they poised to finally break free from the shackles of mediocrity, or is this another year of the same old song and dance? The Storm's tale is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be a page-turner. Big Earl here, folks. Keep your eyes peeled for future reports as we navigate through the twists and turns of another gripping ABL season. So, whether you're a die-hard Storm fan or just love the game, the best is yet to come. Until next time, this is the game.